Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And if you are new here, please make sure to hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, and smash that notification. Yo, I watch a lot of these videos. I literally used to stay up watching JLP Savage moments all night sometimes. Just find myself constantly getting sucked into them. Then one day I look and they're just gone. No more where to be found. Well, guess what? I found him back on Rumble at Get a Job. He's on there now. They completely erased his YouTube account. I have no idea why, but I'm going to bring them back to you guys on here. So without further ado, let's get into it.
There was a so-called gay pride parade in West Hollywood. A mess.
A mess.
Did you know that the month of June is so-called Gay Pride Month? The whole month. The entire month.
The whole
so
month.
we went up to Hollywood to find out what are they proud of. Why are they proud of being a homosexual or a lesbian?
Lesbian!
Amazing. They're charging us an arm and a leg and a short thigh for our dairy products. Canada is ripping us off. It just goes to show that past presidents have not been good for America.
I can't name one, to be honest. Back in the days, obviously, when we first founded this country, but in more recent past, these presidents have all just been terrible.
Especially the father messiah, Barack Obama.
One of the
worst.
worst.
The worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. He just gave away everything. He
Everything.
went around the world bowing down, saying that,
Like a chump, like a coward.
I'm here now, you don't have to worry. I'm the first feminist president. In other words, he's a girly man.
Why would you want to be a feminist male president? That doesn't make sense.
Let's begin.
And tariffs are going to come way down because people cannot continue to do that. We're like the piggy bank that everybody's robbing, and that ends.
Let's see what Jesse has to say.
That's right. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
Now, Obama would give the whole piggy bank away.
Yeah.
Here, you want it?
Yeah,
Remember
right,
how he
for
did
real.
over in, was it Iran?
Spread
true.
the wealth.
Yeah.
Gave
Amazing.
him a bunch of $4 billion.
It's sad, bro. All these presidents they worry about other countries instead of worrying about us, and it's sad.
Dollars cash.
And the
something like
wee
that.
hours of the night while we were sleeping, he's taking the piggy bank over there. This is from CBS. Robert De Niro says, F Trump,
Robert De Niro's a liberal Holly weirdo.
to cheers from the crowd. Watch this.
All puppets.
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
What a puppet.
Listen there.
Why are they all cheering? I never understood that. Wasn't he friends with all these people?
He's weak. He's a beta male. California is the place to be, but I don't like what it has become since that time.
Yeah, believe me, I have friends in California, and they've told me plenty of stories.
It's so nasty around here, and high taxes and violent crimes, illegal aliens everywhere, people sleeping on the streets, and it's dirty and awful. It's like the Democrats took paradise and turned it into a nightmare, into hell.
It wasn't Donald
Terrible.
Trump who made California the highest tax state in the country. It was Gavin Newsom and the Democrats.
Yeah, and they just don't want to believe it. Like, I have a friend who lives there, and he told me, he was like, 6 years ago, I would have told you guys to come visit me. Now I'm telling you guys to stay away from here. And it's for a reason.
I have to tell you, the other day, yesterday, matter of fact, I was walking down the road, and they're like these little homeless people. They go and they build a little thing there where they want to sleep and live, I guess. And it's the worst mess you ever seen in your entire life.
It's crazy.
They use the bathroom right on the sidewalk, and they leave it there, and they'll do it right by your business.
How disgusting.
Businesses, they have no respect for that at all. They have no shame. It's not uncommon to be driving down the road and see men and women on the sidewalks taking a dump. If Gavin Newsom gets in and these Democrats continue to run the state.
Anybody in the chat, drop a comment below if you live in California and if you've seen anything like this.
Or anywhere that they take over, it is over. I want to go to Darren. Is a first-time caller out of California. Darren, thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Jesse?
All is well, Darren. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Yes, sir.
You seem to call a lot of other people liars, but I hear you say things constantly like the Democrats don't want this and the Democrats cause of that.
Give me an example.
Man. And I really can't believe you still have a TV show. You need to get some of
Yo, he is highly upset.
What a gross man. I had to let him go because he cursed. What a gross man. Would you like that to be your husband, ladies, your father to your children? Angry people can't even have a reasonable conversation because their spirit is weak and they're very emotional, like their father, the devil.
Oh, man,
and even if they are male, if they're angry, they're still weak and pathetic. You got to overcome the anger.
Yes.
So you teach about racism. Define racism for me.
Hatred towards another race. Or
Satanist, feminist, racist, racism educator. What the bleep is that? What? Let's listen.
Skin color.
I've never met a person who hate another person just based on color alone. Mm-hmm. Have you?
I have.
You have? Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I was actually a student I had at the museum. We started talking about Black Lives Matters. I was talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and civil rights movements today. And he kind of interrupted me and said that he thought Black Lives Matters was people trying to incite a race war. And that really disturbed me. So I pulled him aside at one point and I kind of just asked him. I didn't challenge his opinions. I just wanted to understand why he felt that way. But my understanding is that he grew up in a household that...
that literally didn't even answer his question at all. Not one bit. She just spewed a bunch of nonsense.
Amazing.
Instilled those ideas into his head.
So I can see that Black Lives Matter is an evil group. They're worse than the KKK. They are trying to stir up a
crazy. He said they're worse than the KKK. You guys believe that, chat?
War between the races, a race war. Am I racist?
I don't think you're a racist if you feel that way.
But the white guy, you just said the white guy was a racist, or is a racist for feeling that way?
Well, I don't know if I would call him a racist necessarily because he was so young, and I tried to understand that
this lady is delusional.
People that young, and from talking to him, I think he was brought up to have those ideas.
But that's not racism, right? It's just they're hating another group for a judgment that they made about that group. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't make them racist.
Well, I think because he was this one kid I'm talking about, who I think is the closest thing I've really interacted with, where someone you could...
You see how like she has nothing to say at all, really? She's just trying to come up with words so she doesn't sound dumb. It's all right, we got you, libtard.
Even at such a young age, he was really a child, and he had with such fervor these emotions about just when I brought up Black Lives Matters, he got really angry. There were people of color in our group as well, and he started saying these things.
What do you think about how I feel about Black Lives Matter? It's an evil, dirty group, agitator group of people, and they're no different or maybe even worse than the KKK. What do you think about me feeling that way?
Do you really feel that way?
100%.
You do? That they're worse than the KKK?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I can't comment on that because...
Why?
I'm white.
What does that have to do with anything?
So I feel like that's generally between different ethnic groups and people of different skin colors. So I feel like I can't comment on your feelings and opinions towards an organization around your own ethnicity.
How about if I said that about a white group? Would you comment then? If I said the KKK is evil, you know, a evil group of white people, would you comment then?
I would agree with you on a personal standpoint.
Wow, this chick is really delusional. She does not, like, this is what's wrong with people. They go to school and get educated to be dummies.
And also because you are not white.
Well, who cares? No matter what color you are, you can have your own opinion. What does it matter?
There might be, that to me is racism. It's
You see how she's trying to like make stuff up just to make herself sound right? What an idiot.
between different ethnic groups and skin colors.
Here's what we're gonna hit her with, all right? We're gonna hit her with the dummy.
Dummy, yeah.
You come up with this? Where do you come from?
Where do I come from?
That's why
From
Jesse's
LA.
looking at her.
How are you coming up with this?
Just my thoughts.
Oh, did you make this up yourself, or did someone teach you this?
No, these are just my thoughts.
What do you say to a person like me who realized that racism is an illusion, and it's made up by people who are liars, and they want to control a group of people, like the black race hustlers want to control the white folks in order to gain power and wealth, so they keep black people angry, pretending that racism exists.
Hey, divided we, what is it? United we stand, divided we fall, you know?
They can use them to go after the whites so they can gain power and wealth. What would you say to me?
That's an interesting opinion I've never heard before.
You've never heard that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Will you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. I see what you're saying.
What is social
Right.
activism?
Activism by means of using social means as a, like what we do at the temple is a lot of it is media based. A lot of it is
She doesn't know what she's talking about anything, I don't think.
we're not just armchair activists sitting behind a computer doing things, making phone calls. We actually go out and get our hands dirty. We do protests. That's what we're known for.
And what do you want?
We want to draw attention to the idea that America is headed towards a theocracy, and there's certainly people in power who want that and are fighting for it.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I read on your website that women, Satan, and feminism are closely connected to one another. Can you explain that to me?
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing you look at throughout history. You look at things like Satan and you look at women. The two have been persecuted without real inquiry into why they're persecuted. It's just sort of an assumption. It's something we're told to do, especially in any society that's heavily Judeo-Christian.
This chick is really delusional.
And values. In terms of Christianity, Catholicism, you see that the story of Eve, she was sort of the first person who bit from the apple from the tree of knowledge. She was the first one, I suppose, who interacted with Satan. In Orthodox Judaism, women can't pray or oftentimes eat in the same places that the men do. In Islam, women have to cover their bodies. And you go to, we have that here in any major Judeo-Christian society. You go to a tribal society somewhere, you'll see the same thing when women are menstruating. They have to go live on the outskirts of the village.
But I don't think you'll find that in America today.
Yeah, that doesn't happen around here. I don't know what this lady's talking about.
In America today, women can do whatever they want.
Not exactly.
Give me something that they can't do in America today.
Watch. She has nothing.
There's places where you can't get an abortion, or at least not without scrutiny.
But that's because that location has decided not to perform an abortion. But because it's legal to have an abortion in America, you can have an abortion. And you can almost go into any clinic in a hospital and have an abortion.
Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, women don't have access to that everywhere in our country, so they have to rely on really dangerous methods like, falling down a staircase hoping the child is killed because it's...
You don't believe that.
What's that?
This chick is... Woo!
You don't believe that.
I know of, I've read of situations where women had to induce a termination of a pregnancy because they couldn't get access to an abortion.
But that's ridiculous. They can go anywhere and have an abortion now.
No. Well, I think this was in the late 90s.
Oh, that's not today.
We're not. Yeah. See, this lady's stuck in the past. We're not talking about the past.
I'm talking about today.
Why is that something you should want to have anyway?
Women can have an abortion anywhere, and the government pays for it. We pay for
How
it.
about the waiting period?
Does white privilege exist?
Absolutely.
It does. And where's the proof of that?
All around.
If white privilege exists, I want some.
You know, I tell
I need it because I haven't gotten mine yet.
people often now, in hindsight, one of the things that I wish I would have been more cognizant of was the white privilege at UCLA that was sitting, you know, right next to me. For black people, I believe white privilege is something to leverage.
What is it, though? I don't see it anywhere. What
I
is
got-
it?
She's like baffled by Jesse.
Huh?
What is it?
I don't,
Huh?
People like me who don't see it
how do you not? How do you not see white privilege?
because it doesn't exist. That's
Yes,
what
it does.
So what
there's
is it
some
exactly?
things. I believe white privilege is just the ability just to be free and white and not have the same type of social, economic, and social ills as black people have to deal with. I mean, there's no white racial profiling. White people don't get pulled over by the cops just because they're
Yeah. Okay.
white.
This lady's never been in a car with me before.
They have the ability to, you know, show emotion.
I've had cops multiple times get behind me just because I was a little bit younger
And love to their sons
and I'm white.
without being emasculated. There's all kind of examples
That's
of
amazing
white privilege.
that you believe that.
Absolutely. Why don't you black? How come you don't believe white privilege exists? What you see?
Well, because I you know, I am black in color, but I don't have that dark mentality that most black people have.
Clearly.
I see, she said clearly, I see that white people have the same struggles and things that we have in that
What type of
they have
struggles
to
do they
make their
have?
marriages work. They have to make their children.
Why do people think no white people struggle? Like, it's so crazy to me.
Help their kids grow up in the right way so that they can earn a living and be independent.
But they also have the majority of their
make
fathers
kids-
at home.
Right,
We don't
and the
have-
reason for that, it's starting to change somewhat now, but the reason for that is because they are taking responsibility for that, whereas black men and women are not taking responsibility for that, as they did prior to the Civil Rights Movement. Black people are
Hey, is this truth or no? Let me know in the comments.
blaming it on their lack of self-control and self-containment. They're blaming it on white people, while white people are working hard to keep it going.
I do
for
believe
themselves.
that there is a need for black people to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't excuse racism, that doesn't excuse institutionalized racism, that doesn't excuse...
But there's no
that-
such thing
Yes,
as that.
yes,
It's
it
an illusion
is.
made
No,
up
it's
by
not.
black people and their
it's
leaders.
not. No, it's not. It exists.
Well,
Sorry.
where's the proof of it, though?
What do you mean, where's the proof of it?
There are many kids who are getting into, black kids who are allowed to get into these universities around the country, right, based on affirmative action, and because of affirmative action based on their color. That's discrimination based on color, and that's wrong. And these kids are getting in, but they're not earning their way, so when they...
Right. I don't care what it is. I don't care what color you are. If I own a business, I want the person best for my business. I don't care what color it is. Whoever is best for my business, that's who I want in my business. And that's that. I don't understand what is so hard with that or how people don't comprehend things like that. It doesn't make sense to me.
When they fail, they feel less than before they were allowed to get in based on color.
I'm a proud product of affirmative action. When I went to UCLA, it was because I was an affirmative action student.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Dummy. Yeah.
And I think I turned out fantastic. So,
I mean, you got a lot of anger in you. You could tell how angry you are.
so a lot of my
just by how you talk.
peers who are having challenges getting into some of these predominantly white institutions, the affirmative action was great. My father went to Harvard. You know, he was one of very few blacks.
Was he affirmative action person?
I don't know if he was. That was back in the late 60s.
But
I don't
then
know.
he wasn't.
Yeah, he earned it. Like, I don't think she understands the difference between what Jesse's saying is affirmative action is just giving somebody something based upon the color of their skin. But say there's a white person, a Puerto Rican, or just anyone who is more qualified, they're not going to get it based on the color of their skin. That's discrimination in both aspects. So it doesn't make sense. It's illogical in my honest opinion.
He
Okay.
earned his way.
So, that being said, I still believe that affirmative action helped me get into UCLA, and it gave me access.
You would
and
not have
exposure.
gotten in there on your own because you were not smart enough.
I don't know if I wasn't smart enough, but based on the curve and what I was competing with you
No, chick, just say it. You weren't smart enough. That's all right. Just say you weren't smart enough. I mean, be honest.
know, other individuals who had different.
That means that you got in based upon the color of your skin, and somebody that was white got discriminated against. Just call it what it is.
Educational opportunities and
She tries to use big words to play out of it.
teachers. I mean, I'm coming from, the LA Unified School District. I mean, so at the time, I think LAUSD was still pretty good. But I went to all white schools from high school up
So you
through
got
college.
a good education. Why couldn't you get into the school based on your own talent?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't have some of the opportunity.
But you
First of
had the
all-
opportunities.
No, well, first of all,
You had the opportunities. You literally just said you went to the same schools as all them other people.
You had the
The
same
SAT
opportunity those white kids were having.
not necessarily. I had different teachers.
Stop
I had
it.
different
So you went to a-
resources.
Stop it. You went to a school with a bunch of white people and you're the only black person. You had a teacher by yourself? Okay.
White integrated school.
I'm talking about
mostly
going
white.
into these other into UCLA. I still had to be able to deal with some of the issues and going to predominantly white schools.
Like
but
what?
I
Stop
still had to
it.
be able to compete.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
Some of the issues going to a
I
predominantly
went to I would graduate from University High School, and at the time they didn't have an African American student union.
An African American student union.
At the school,
Well, that's a good thing.
they didn't have one.
That's a good thing.
Why?
Why do you need something like that?
They have Asian student unions. They have Jewish student unions. They have all kind of
Did
different.
they have
student
white
unions.
student union?
They need student union. They own the whole school.
Oh, look, the ghetto came out of her.
So
But the kids didn't own the school. The kids didn't.
But I'm saying there's nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong
It's
with having
amazing that
a
you think this way.
segregated, population of students who just want to study together, or work together, or to be able to
Would you
deal
be in
with.
support of a white student union?
Yeah, of course.
It would be okay with you?
Yeah, why
Okay.
not?
But most blacks don't feel that way.
I think all cultures should be able to segregate and to be able to work within their cultures and network within their own cultures. Absolutely.
Does racism exist?
I believe racism does exist.
And where's the
absolutely.
proof of that?
You just see it all over in the country. We're proof of it. In terms
What-
of just the,
what do
the
I see?
disproportionate in the economics with black people.
But that has nothing
He said, what do I see? He's telling her, like, hey, show me what I see since I see it.
to do with racism.
It does. Racism is about power. It's about who's in control. And black people can't be racist because we're not in control. We're not in control of the educational
So that means I can't be racist because I don't have no power.
system, some of
This chick is an educated dummy.
the social organizations and things that run this country. We're not in control. Racism is about power.
But you would
What
be in
race is
control of your own life if you had good parents, if they taught you how to be independent, if they taught you how to build, how to take care of. I've noticed that the reason I left where I lived over there in the Crenshaw district is that once the white people left, because once I moved there, when I first moved there, it was mostly whites. But once they left, as they did in Gary, Indiana, and other places, the blacks turned it into a
I don't know where Jesse moved to. I thought he still lived in Crenshaw. Maybe he lives in a different part of LA now.
ghetto. A beautiful area went to hell in a handbasket, so I got out. But if blacks had more character and they were taking care of themselves and being responsible and buying land and teaching their
But that
children,
has to be taught.
then right. So that has nothing to do with racism.
But that has to.
Right. What does that have to do with white people? That literally has nothing to do with any of it. That's all just perception of and things that you're taught and the way that you're brought up. That has nothing to do with any. If somebody didn't teach you that, that has nothing to do with anybody else but the person that taught you it.
That has to be taught.
So it's not racist. It's not white people's fault that you're not teaching your children to do that.
No, but it's not. If the
that true?
parents don't know.
They
If the
don't know.
parents-
But that's
if
not
the
white
parents
people's
don't
fault,
know, but if they go into some of these institutions, these predominantly white institutions, they are targeted. They don't have the same opportunities because of their color.
You see Jesse looking at her like, you just don't make any sense.
That's crazy.
So crazy. All right, everybody, that's it. Yo, I really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out today. That was a great one. I love Jesse's videos. I watch a lot of them. I probably watch him every Monday through Friday and on Sundays live. Go ahead and drop a comment below. Tell me what you thought of it. We're going to start doing these a little bit more. I want to bring these back to YouTube. So thank you guys for stopping by. Also, make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, and smash that notification. On to the next one. Peace.